We are joined for more discussion on this topic by Ali M. Abushbak, independent Palestinian researcher joining us from Cairo, and Lev Aran, coordinator of Israel-India Parliamentary Friendship, located in Haifa. Ali M. Abushbak, I wanted to get your insight on this. What do you think Israel means by the rituals of humiliation that Hamas during these returns of both alive hostages and dead hostages?
Well, thank you for having me. I guess this is a very complicated and disappointed atmosphere on the ground. Unfortunately, we heard that Israeli delayed to release the Palestinian prisoner after the exchange captive and Palestinian prisoner. This is a sixth exchange between Hamas and Israel. But unfortunately, Benjamin Netanyahu, it seems that he's not serious about moving forward to second phase of the negotiation, which be hosted in Qatar or Cairo. The thing is, Israel and the international organization or international community used to always criticize the show during the handover of the handover ceremonies of the Israeli captive, which I guess this is just only an excuse is to delay the progress of negotiation between Hamas and Israel and to not going through the second phase. Meanwhile, at this time, everyone are waiting what will happen next time. I mean, what will happen in the coming time is that will impact the ceasefire, the fragile ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, or that it will continue. Hamas it will take it as a piece of cake and will deal it and tolerate it very well. Also, we have seen the Israeli side that used to creating an issue during the Shiri's dead body or corpse when Benjamin Netanyahu he released a many terrible statement that he will reopen the gate of the hell in Gaza and he was going back to the war again. These statements show that how much Benjamin Netanyahu is not serious about the ceasefire and it's not serious about the life of captive Gaza.
Lev Aran, what do you think about these claims that Benjamin Netanyahu is not serious about the ceasefire? The people of Israel are currently striking, saying that they want this ceasefire to continue. They want all the hostages home. What do you think about this halting of the release of these Palestinian prisoners?
I couldn't agree with Ali more. I don't think Netanyahu wanted the first phase of the agreement with Hamas. And he doesn't want the second one. He made it because it was a demand, a dictate by President Trump. He didn't want to walk over the red lines of President Trump. So Netanyahu agreed because right now, President Trump in Israel is on a pedestal beyond any criticism. If Trump wants something from Israel, Israel will do it, at least at this early stage of his tenure. So I don't think that Netanyahu wanted this deal from day one, but of course the fact that Hamas has such a festive days around the release of the hostages, of course it is also hobbling the deal. There is no doubt about it.
Ali M. Abushbak, do you think that this is a sort of pattern happening? It seems that there is problems either side every single time we have one of these. How do you think Hamas will respond, should respond to this? The fact that Israel, in Hamas's view, has not kept their end of the deal.
Unfortunately, on the ground, Hamas is not interested about going back to the war. This is what have seen in Gaza and what's happening during the handover, the ceremonies and the military show that Hamas trying to show during the handing over the captive. It's just only like flexing muscle. Hamas want to show that its power, and Hamas want to show that it still has control in Gaza and has still power in Gaza. But unfortunately, on the ground, Hamas doesn't care. I mean, not interested to go back to the war. And we have seen the far right wing from Israel, who always feel the war and feel the hate speech on the Israeli community. And I guess now Israeli community are divided to many divisions. The people who are supporting the ceasefire, and the far right wing who's supporting to go back to the war. During the first phase of the agreement between Hamas and Israel, Israel denied and completely rejected to be a written uh, rule for the ceasefire. For broken ceasefire. For guarantee of ceasefire, which they give it Egypt and Qatar and USA, giving the variable guarantee for Hamas that Israel is not going to ceasefire again. And we have seen that the Israeli mentalities, Benjamin Netanyahu here, he wants to just only extend the first phase as much as can, and it should be endless time for this first stage or first phase of the negotiation, and we shouldn't move to the second negotiation. And it's only just for his benefit and to make the Ben Gvir and Smotrich more happy and more satisfied with his policy. On the ground, I guess Hamas is not interested to return to the war, and we have seen that the good intents from Hamas that releasing the hostages on the time. Hamas during the missed or the intentionally mistake has committed during to exchange the body or the corpse of Shiri. Hamas second day at night sent the body, and they could identify it, but international media couldn't cover it. As well as on the ground, we have seen Israelis jail the people who's in the Palestinian in the prison of the Israel. The Palestinian prisoner, they got humiliated. Last week, Israeli forces or troops raided the Ofar's prison, but there is no addressing from international media since they are just only Palestinian.
Lev Aran, the whole event with the return of Shiri Bibas and her children's bodies was heartbreaking, and that was felt across the world. But what is your response to these rituals of humiliation? What does Netanyahu define these as? Do you think Israel can be seen as setting some unfair conditions?
What happened with the Bibas family, we see radicalization of the Israeli community to the right. We see many Israelis who believed in a two-state solution that don't believe that it is possible to have any peace with Palestinians. You hear many Israelis that say, how can you murder with your own hands a baby of 7 months? How can it happen? How come the people, the Palestinians in Gaza, don't stop the regime of Hamas? How come Hamas still have a support? So in a way, we see a week of radicalization of Israel to the right, if you ask me about Israel.
Ali Emma Bushback, do you think that, how do you think this situation is going to move forward? Do you think we can see a sight of the second phase of the ceasefire? Because it's approaching.
Chance to go through second phase of ceasefire is a list, but also we are hoping that American administration and the mediator between Qatar and Egypt and USA pressurize the Benjamin Netanyahu to be serious for second phase, which he putting a lot of condition for moving through the second phase. Is like Hamas should be leave and should be unarmed, which Hamas completely rejected, and shouldn't be any representation for Palestinian Authority in Gaza. And then I'm a word about who will control Gaza, even Palestinian Authority, who give that security coordination with Israel in West Bank, and who was medium and who was not extremist about the notion of exist of Israel. Still, Benjamin Netanyahu and Ben Gvir and Smotrich doesn't like or doesn't will that Palestinian Authority to control Gaza. Then who will control Gaza if that they are rejecting? But about the second phase, in my opinion, that administration, they will put pressure on the Benjamin Netanyahu to go through it, and also the family of Israeli captive, they will pressurize Benjamin Netanyahu and far right wing. Especially we have seen weekly protest in the square of captive in Tel Aviv. We have seen every day that people, and they are increasing the number, and there is the opposition of Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel. They are increased as well as, and I guess they are going through the second phases. And in my opinion, and I guess Hamas is not interested to go back to the war, as well as Israel is not interested to go back to the war due to the huge loss in the both sides, Palestinian and Israel. And also what we have seen in West Bank, as well as there is a huge loss between Palestinian and Israel.
Ali Emma Bushback and Lev Aran, thank you very much for joining us in at that discussion.